I am an ex-scientist. I love a good experiment, but it wasn't until I became an entrepreneur and I was forced to fail, to test things differently, to go there a little bit faster, that I came to the realization that it's actually a way better way to advance in life. It's a way more enjoyable way, and it can work with anything in life, not just the entrepreneurship and businesses or things like this, but just if you have a new habit you want to create, a goal you want to achieve anywhere, being an entrepreneur in your mindset and being somebody who is way more experimental is actually going to give you better results. And if I look back in the past, I was more like playing it safe. I was more like, the very rational, very structured, very organized person. If I wanted to do something, it's like, let me create the whole plan. Let me think a lot before doing anything. Let me think about how the different things are connected. Let me just think not about the first step I have to take, but all the steps that are going to come after that. And yeah, it was way more rigid. Same thing with learning. If I wanted to learn something, I was like, okay, I need to complete all these steps and read all these things and do all these trainings. And I think in a lot of times that obviously created this sense of like, stuffiness, like very rigid. It probably took me way more time to get results in my life than what it could have. And, sometimes I was also, oh, because I've made so much time in advance planning everything, I kind of like overcommitted to something because I had done all this preparatory work, but actually never really like thought through, hey, actually, does it really make sense to do this? Should I quit right now? All these things were way harder in life. And I've realized with more experimentation that actually I'm just like now, okay, just choose the next step, see what happens. Maybe it's a big mistake, but it will be a cool story to tell on a YouTube video in the future. Or just try something, learn, adjust, and kind of go for it faster, reduce the choice that you're making. So just like go for the first step rather than trying to plan everything. And this has really brought me a lot of like more peace, or like more like freedom to fail, freedom to think, okay, I don't need to have everything right now. I can just focus on the first step in front of me. Whatever decision I make is not permanent because I'm just experimenting with something. I'm just trying. So my decision is just let me experiment with that, and then once I have a bit more data, I can make another experience. Um, Everything like this really helped me also not overcommitted, as I was saying, and just being disciplined towards things that make absolutely no sense. Because if I'm experimenting, then I can see directly, do I like it, do I not like it, rather than if I spend too much time thinking about it. So I just came from more this place of more experimentation, and that has brought me a lot of confidence. So if you're also trying, to think, okay, I'd like things to move in my life, but I always, it takes ages. I feel stuck. I feel very rigid, or like very yeah, I don't know if it's going to work enough. And just go experiment for it, and yeah, you will figure it out. And the ways I'm doing this right now, just to give you a practical example, because you might be thinking, okay, this is very nice, you're experimenting, but tell us, how do you do it? Well, um, things I do different in practice than before is, first of all, having like doing like short-term experiments. So having a clear time frame. Let's say I'm going to try, for instance, for this YouTube challenge, I'm doing videos for 80 days. That's a time frame that is very specific to test and see if I like it. And then run these experiments that are like very low risk, like, yeah, okay, if I fail on YouTube, that there is no big there is no big problem, right? But just trying to find what would be the thing I need to test that would give me answers whether or not I like it, also whether or not I can be successful, because that's also important. Like when I do this experiment, I'm like, okay, what do I want to learn in the next 80 days doing this challenge? And what would make me say at the end of 80 days, I was successful and therefore I should continue. And if you define this type of goals in advance, then you know what you're working towards, you know what to pay attention as you are doing the work. So you're actually learning faster and getting the feedback that you need to make a good decision once you arrive at the end of the time frame. And I found this very yeah, way more effective. It's called actually lean testing. I've learned this from a program last year. I've been applying that in a proper work as well. It's a method that makes you say, okay, what is the hypothesis, like what is the thing that if it doesn't work, then there is no point continuing. For instance, I was running a workshop earlier this year, and I wanted to test if and pilot it and see if it was working. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try a series of 3 workshops, one per month, and then I want to see at what the main thing I wanted to test is, are people signing up for it? Because if nobody signs up, then I can be trying to tweak the workshop or whatever. It might be better, but it's like if nobody shows up, I'm losing my time focusing my energy on the wrong thing. So I was more like, okay, let me do these 3 workshops, do a promotion that I think is relatively good, and then see how many people I get, how many people are attending. And nobody showed up. A few people signed up on the first one. Nobody showed up for the rest. So I was like, okay, clearly there is no need right now for that. So I'm gonna park it and I'm gonna see what else I can do. But because I failed really fast and I was very clear what am I testing, what am I measuring that will tell me it's actually worth it, then I was able to make the decision to quit that and park it and feel good about it as well, and way faster than I would have had in the past. So I think this is like, yeah, short time frame, clear goals about what you want to learn, what you want to test, what are the, you know, the failure, like the thing that would make you say there is no point continuing if this is a failure, and yeah, do this in advance so that you can measure towards things that you thought about when you were neutral and not when you are in the process, because sometimes you can get a little bit biased depending on the results you are getting. So this is one practice I use. And it can apply to everything. So I applied it for workshops. I have a friend who decided that she wanted to move to a country, but she was like, I don't know if I want to live in this country for longer. So she was like, okay, let me just pack my stuff, go there for 3 months and see what happens. But this like short time frame gave her the chance to decide, actually, no, you know what, I like the city for visiting, but I don't want to live there further. So she went back to where she came from. And yeah, this type of things like can be applied something for hobbies or for health habits. If you want to test something, just give yourself a time frame. Can be 21 days for habits, but usually it's longer than that. Can give yourself like 2 months and then see if you like something, and then oh, you can always like decide, okay, now I'm done. I've tested it. I've discovered that this is not something that I want to pursue, and then you can just let it go, let it fly. But you will have done it faster than if you were like, oh no, I'm just gonna be, I decided and now I have to commit for a year, and yeah, it doesn't really make sense at the end of the day. The other thing I'm doing is learning differently, because I see a lot, and even in personal development where I come from, a lot of people are like, you need to learn all the time, you need to learn plenty of things and feed your brain and read all the books. And first of all, I found it very overwhelming, but I also think that you don't always need so much knowledge. Sometimes you just need what is called like just on time knowledge that you will need in the moment where you need it and not before. And this is a weird practice, but it's basically saying, like, for instance, if I'm starting a business, in the first few months, what I need to know is I need first of all see what I want to sell and go talk to people to see if somebody would buy that. That's the first thing you have to solve in your business. These are the first problems that you have to get an answer to, and this is what you can experiment with in the first month. But if you start reading all about how you can grow a million business and manage a team of 10,000 people, you're not there yet. You're just starting. That's a different problem. If you're trying to start fixing problems that will happen in the future and learning about this, you might feel like safer because you have more knowledge in advance about what could happen, but it's actually not the knowledge that you need at the time. And that can also obviously cost you time and energy to be learning all these things that you are not ever going to apply. So what I'm doing now is really just learning just on time. So for instance, for YouTube, I had some previous experience from videos when I was coaching. I was using YouTube as a kind of like a repository for videos, so I know roughly where to click to upload and a little bit of the platform, not too much, but the bare minimum to just the first week of this video challenge, I could ship videos and there would be no problem. It could be done very fast. Then now I'm started having a more learning plan. So last week I was learning more about the thumbnails, and then this week I'm going to learn more about the title, and then maybe in a few weeks I'm going to learn more about the algorithm in general. But I'm trying to plan, okay, what information do I need at this specific point in time that would be helpful, that I really need to go learn, and then I go learn it intensely, and then I come back and I apply it. And that's how I found actually I'm able to experiment as well, because I don't waste too much time on learning knowledge and holding knowledge that I won't use. I'm just learning the one I need, applying it. When you apply things, you will also learn even better, and then you can also say, okay, actually, okay, I learned this, I applied, this is the result I got. Did I miss something? Is there something else I want to learn about? And something that would be helpful. And then you can go directly back. Okay, that's the next thing I'm going to learn. And because you are in this practice, you can really move faster, but also like not I would say like clutter your head with so much knowledge of so much things that you don't need at this stage, and be more into action, which I think is the big part of this message. Actually, it's about that. It's about being less in the thinking, the planning, the overthinking decisions, but more in the action. See what happens, get the feedback in real life, and then you will have the clarity that you were maybe trying to get from the planning and thinking in advance. And yeah, that changes a little bit the approach, and it's way way faster, and you can you can move with less noise in your brain, which is also very good. And the other thing that I'm doing is always trying to think more like an investor nowadays. And this is more like maybe for longer experiments, but try to think from an investor perspective of, okay, when you are investing, things will compound. So if you are experimenting, things will compound as well. But also thinking like if there is a drop or if there is a failure or if there is a win, it's not always representative of, you are going in the right direction. It's more like overall, you might be going to the right direction, but there might be ups and downs at some point. And just thinking like this as well in terms of experimentation. So making sure that I'm not, if something is not working, that I know, I try to understand why it's not working, but I go test that again. So I'm not just letting myself make poor decisions based on testing like this. But the reason I'm saying that is so you can see the things progressing, you can see the compounding, but then also you can decide if you want to put more time and more energy in it, which is also the biggest investment you make in general when you're trying to progress in life is that, time and energy. And you can save yourself a shortcut here by experimenting more, but it's also making sure that you are still going in the right direction at some point. So it's like, just like zooming out of the picture and seeing what you got before anything else. And yeah, that's what I'm using. I'm definitely using investor techniques on on YouTube, because I can tell you that the number of people watching these videos so far is fluctuating a lot, and is quite on the low range. And I'm like, at some point it's gonna going exponential. But that's why I'm saying I have to zoom out and think about the bigger picture, and really give myself the 80 days is actually a good time frame to get a clear vision of this more like fluctuations, and overall is it actually working. So yeah, just if you're struggling with decision, and if you have been somebody like me who used to be more like logical, planning, overthinking, give yourself the freedom to do differently. Give yourself the chance to play a little bit more, and to do this experimentation smartly, because you don't need to be an expert in like a very advanced lean testing, but just thinking, okay, what do I want to test here? What is the biggest failure that will tell me it's not worth continuing? And measuring if you're being successful, and building the knowledge that you need as you need it, and continue like this. And that will help you move faster. You will learn more. You will also build your confidence, because I also found that when you're experimenting like this, you have to trust yourself to figure things out, and that's that you can learn quick. Just go at it again. Like it tests you a little bit more as a person. Like your character gets challenged a little bit more than if you are just thinking and being in your internal world rather than the external world. So I feel there is also a benefit for you as a person to have this mindset. And obviously it's so much better, so much more freedom in there. So yeah, if you've been stuck on that, just remember that your life doesn't have to be decided. Everything you do doesn't have to be decided in advance. You can just experiment and discover things in the process, and move directions, and follow wherever you want to go, and be smart about it, and you can get results better, you can get results faster, and it will really just help you having a better life and a better vibe as well. So why not try that? So yeah, this is my encouragement for you to experiment more. I know I am doing this, and I'm always reminding myself when I start feeling that I'm going too much into planning mode, I'm like, no, take a step back. What is the first thing you want to test? Go try that, tell the story about that, and then move on to the next step. And if you don't know me, my name is Chloe, and as I've mentioned a few times in this video, I am doing a challenge, an experiment of recording videos every single day for YouTube until I turn 40. So I'm reviewing everything that I've learned, everything that I've unlearned, everything that I want to bring with me as I'm turning the big number, the big 40. And obviously, being more flexible in my approach of life and experimenting is going to be one of the things that I take with me. And yeah, I see you tomorrow for another video where I share something else about what I'm going to take further. See you tomorrow.